Welcome once again to Real Business. We have developed these videos to help many of our clients as they are dealing with these changing economic times. So I thought I would share with you some of the work we're doing on how companies are dealing with these times and getting stuck, very often unable to change in response to a completely restructured economic environment. So let me tell you about the 3 videos that I urge you to take a good look at. In this one, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how companies get stuck and how to get unstuck. And then the other 2 are about clients of mine or companies that have shared their stories with us so that you can also understand how they begin to see, feel, and think differently. I use those words very intentionally because unless you can begin to see things in new ways and feel them, it's very hard to think about them. So why do companies get stuck, even when they see everything around them changing? One reason is groupthink. Management teams very often are so uncomfortable with new ideas that they will very much share the same ideas over and over again and think alike. Squeaky wheels, whistleblowers, change agents are rarely appreciated. And even when they are speaking something that's true, the group really would rather stay away from the new ideas. So new isn't necessarily something people are looking for, and the brain science is telling us that change is really pain. So the first thing you have to worry about is when everyone says the same things and are thinking in the same way. So groupthink is a problem. The second thing that often happens is that, and we're seeing a great deal of this, is that margins and profits are taking over from revenue growth. And so companies that we are working with have shrunk their staff by 30%. Only to find their revenues and sales down by 25%. Margins are a little bit better, but you can't shrink yourself out of existence. So you're going to have to take a hard look at how you're dealing with that margin and how you're looking at revenue. Without revenue growth, you're going to stall, and that's not a very healthy place to be. The third area is how you define yourselves. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I'm a banker, or I'm a painter, or a printer, or I have a business in customer care. Once you define that and tell us how you specialize, it sounds very nice. You know, your core business is to focus on that vertical or that marketplace. But it limits your opportunities to see and feel all sorts of new ways of doing things for people who don't presently use you. We call them non-users. They're people who tried you and perhaps haven't used you any longer, who have never even thought about you as a possible solution. So you need to be real careful how you define yourself. And I'm not going to challenge all the research that says you should stay in your core business, but I will ask you to think very carefully about whether you've defined it too narrowly and have actually become a niche. And there may be a broad audience waiting for you out there. So that's the third thing. The fourth is, where do ideas fit into your organization? I cannot tell you how many times I've worked with companies and there is no place for an idea to grow, much less a formal process for idea generation, innovation, looking to find new things, seeing new ways that customers are using your product. Very often you never get out of your office and you just imagine what's actually happening. So in case after case, when I take clients on the road into the field, boy, I'll tell you, the discoveries, the aha moments, the epiphanies that go off, you can't imagine them. And people can't tell you. One of my favorite quotes is a Henry Ford quote. If I had asked people, he said, how to make their transportation faster, they would have told me to make their horses go faster. They could never have imagined a Ford car. So most of your clients are going to have a hard time imagining as well. And so you need to go watch them and see how they actually use your products and how people who could use you aren't using you today and aren't using competition or substitutes for you. So I can give you a whole lot of examples, but for today, I'd just like you to think about, where do ideas fit into your entire organization? Now, there's always the geopolitical and there's the economic turns that are bigger than you. But at the end of the day, you're probably an entrepreneur or a business person running a company that's full of ideas and new ways of doing things. And in the subsequent videos that we're going to be showing you, I have a couple of stories about companies that have really, really embraced this in a big way. So we've been talking about companies that are having a hard time changing in these very trying economic times. You get stuck. And if you are watching your own company develop, you're seeing your groupthink taking place, the fact that you don't have any place for ideas to generate. You stay in your offices and try to imagine what's going on instead of getting out of the office and go explore. And you're finding yourself focused on margin, not on revenue growth. These are not things that are going to help restore the vitality of your business. So I ask you to please try and think about these. As you're looking at your business, try new ways of beginning to think about it and to grow it. For Real Business, I'm Andrea Simon, and it's been a pleasure to share some of these thoughts with you. I urge you to take a look at some of the stories to share on our website. They are stories of companies like yours where people have actually done these things and have been very successful at them. Thank you, and thanks for joining us.